Welcome to Daily Tax Savings. This is Tony Novak here to share a few points on saving taxes and staying out of tax trouble. Today's topic is deducting payments to contractors. Now here it is, beginning of December, we're approaching the end of the year. If you run a business and you plan on deducting business expenses and you've made payments to someone who was working for you, then now is the time to consider the requirements for deducting those expenses. Now, the normal requirement or the normal course of action is, the strong advice is, if you're using a bookkeeper or accountant, always have that person collect the payee information prior to making the first payment. That's the best practice. That's the standard practice. That's the practice I would always follow. However, in real life, there's a lot of situations where that's not the case. You've made a bunch of payments, I don't know, perhaps to a person that's doing marketing for you, or website design, or could be anything else, physical work around your business property, and you have their name, maybe you have their address, but you don't have their Social Security number to issue a Form 1099, which is your requirement at the end of this year. And that filing date comes up sooner than your tax return. So that's why we're talking about this in December, because your filing, 1099 filing, comes up first thing in January. Now, what happens if you don't have the 1099 and you don't file the 1099 and you want to deduct those payments anyway? Well, your tax preparer may have different ways to approach that, but at a minimum, we're going to, in this broadcast, we're going to say that at a minimum, you are admitting, by taking that deduction, that you haven't filed the 1099. Your tax return does ask you, yes or no, did you file all 1099? And if you say no, you did not, you are opening yourself up to a potential penalty for that. And the question of whether that deduction can be sustained without it, there is no legal requirement there's no law that says that deduction is automatically disqualified simply because you didn't collect the Social Security number or file the 1099. However, it is, as a practical matter, difficult to sustain those deductions in the event of audit. That's the practical experience of my practical experience and other representatives who have been through that situation. So it makes sense simply to look at the situation now in December, discuss it with your tax advisor, tax preparer, and figure out a plan as to how you're going to handle that in the event that all your paperwork is not in perfect shape. Would welcome any comments, feedback, questions on this topic. I'm easy to reach on social media, or if you want to talk one-on-one, find me online at the website taxproblems.cpa, and there's a phone number there where we can set up a time to talk. I'll be back tomorrow with another Tax Savings Minute.